On this channel, I remind you that everything's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. Just trust the breakup. I know it's tough, and I help you make sense of what you're going through, but hang in there, all right? You're going to be okay. Today's topic is going to be when your ex quickly moves on. I'm going to help you understand your pain. Man, this has to be one of the most difficult things to endure, right? Is when you have a relationship with somebody and maybe it's even a few years, and then there's a breakup, and the next thing you know, she's with someone else fairly quickly, and you're like, what? What's going on? Like, how did she move on so quickly? Or girls, how did he move on so quickly? And that can be excruciating. And so let's take a look into what's going on here. Why did she or he move on so quickly? That's a great question. That question is in our heads when that happens, and it keeps us up at night, and sometimes we lose our appetite because it just consumes us. Like, how is it that this person who once loved me, or we loved each other, is now with somebody else? Well, let's take a look. For one, whoever you were dating, that person already broke up in her mind. They lost interest a long time ago. Now, unless it's a breakup that happens because of a sudden a sudden moment, an event of like infidelity or unfaithfulness, let's say cheating happens, or let's just say there's a sudden decision to move because of a job shift, a job change to another location, and you decide, this isn't going to work, then yeah, okay, I could see that. But when it's a breakup that usually happens, that person you're dating, they have already broken up with you in their mind weeks ago, months ago. It just took a while for them to verbalize it. And a lot of times we think everything's going well, right? And then boom, the breakup happens and we say, I don't understand. We were just at the movies last night together, or we had just gone on vacation, or and it seems as though things are going well. That person is hiding it really well, but some major doubts have existed in their head for a while. And so mentally and emotionally, that person has already broken up with you a long time ago. Therefore, that transition to dating somebody else doesn't take them as long as it's taking you, because it's not a surprise to her. It's not a surprise. The breakup isn't a surprise to the person breaking up with you. It's a surprise to you because you don't expect it. Or maybe you do, right? Maybe you kind of sense that pulling away. We've all felt that, that like something's not right. And then it happens. Okay, well, that person's already broken up, so they don't have to go through that healing process necessarily in their mind and emotionally, because it's already been done weeks or months ago. Let's keep going on. That person was already talking to and seeing someone else. I remember this happened to me. Girl I was dating, it wasn't going to work. And within, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks, she was already with somebody else. There was already talking and flirtation going on. If you're a college student, then your girlfriend has classes with other guys. Depending on where she works, or girls where he works, there's going to be other people in their lives. And many times, that person has already been talking to somebody. There's already been something going on. And so when the breakup happens, they couldn't get themselves to do it yet. But once they break up and that awkward conversation has taken place, there's a weight that's lifted off that person who you're dating, and they can go ahead and move on with that person they were talking to already and flirting with. It's not uncommon. Next, your girlfriend or your ex wants to justify her decision, and she wants to send you a message. So when she moves on with another guy that quickly, they're trying to justify, okay, what I did was valid. what I did was right, and by getting into another relationship, it justifies that decision, and it sends you a message of, look, I wasn't fooling around. I'm not second guessing this. I know what I said. I know the decision I made, and they're going to start posting things on social media with that other person, and they know you're going to look at it. They know you're going to see the post. And so it's a way of sending you a message like, look, we're done. I moved on. And my decision was rational. It wasn't emotional. It wasn't a burst, of emotions in the moment, but they do it to justify the decision that was made. Is this making sense to you? And next, your ex is determined to leave the past behind. Um, it was a relationship that they're just done with. Okay, they're just done with it, and they're taking steps to conclude that part of or that chapter of their life with you. They're taking steps to conclude it and to leave the past behind them. Maybe it was an awful relationship and they want to just be done with it. Or maybe it wasn't so bad, but it's ran its course. And your ex is now with another person so quickly because they're determined to keep that relationship with you in the past and move on. Shut the door, lock it, it's done, and I'm moving on to another chapter of my life with somebody else. Now, why am I hurting so much? Man, it hurts, huh? Why? What's going on? Why are you hurting so much? Well, for one, you think you lost the one. Um, when we think that there is only one person, especially if you're not someone who dates much or you haven't had a lot of experience in dating, and our Western culture with the movies and the stories we hear, the children's books, things like that, in our Western culture, it's very romantic to have this ideal person, this idea that there is the one, that is determined for you, that God has set for you, the soulmate, we say. And if you think your quote unquote soulmate has just broken up with you and left you, then now we have this idea in our head that there is nobody else. Like, I'm going to be alone forever. And it's simply not true. It's simply not true. There isn't, I'm not a believer that there is the one for you. Now, there's going to be people that you get along really well with, and you might know couples who are married and you can't imagine them with someone else. But if you think about it, there are 7 billion people on the planet. It's just mathematical impossibility that there is just one person that fits you, spiritually, emotionally, physical attraction. You guys have similar interests or whatever it is that you get along with really well. Also, I like to think of it this way. I know somebody who was married and the wife passed away, I believe within a year and a half of their marriage. Now, if he had married the one, if that wife who passed away, unfortunately, was the one, then does that mean the next woman he marries isn't? Is he getting like second best? Is his life like that much less now because the one is gone and now he has to settle for another woman who he's really not supposed to be with? Well, no. No, he can marry another woman and have a great life and love her as much as he loved the first one and be loved as much as the first one loved him. You understand? And you think about it, if you marry the wrong person, if we make a mistake and marry the wrong person, then you just have taken the one from somebody else. Maybe it was an unplanned pregnancy. And you guys decided, well, let's just do the best and get married. But it wasn't really out of love for each other. Maybe it was out of a sense of responsibility. Well, then, could it be that you just took the one away from somebody else who would have married her out of love. So I want us to get this idea, at least for me, okay, from my point of view, of there is one person. You didn't lose the one, okay? And when you can understand that, it's going to really take the pain away from you um, when your ex moves on, that when you no longer feel that the one person in the whole universe has gone, okay? Next, hey, not being chosen hurts, huh? I mean, we remember being kids on the basketball court and not being chosen, right? You're the last to get picked, maybe, and or maybe not you, but a friend of yours, and that person was the last to get picked on a team, and not being chosen hurts. Or you tried out for a team and you didn't make the cut. Or maybe junior high, high school, you liked someone and that person just didn't like you in return. You know, they went for a friend of yours. Not being chosen hurts. And when when you're with someone for a while who had chosen you at one point and now they no longer choose you after a period of time, however long that may be, then that hurts. And so sift through that. Are you missing that person because you love them, or is your ego damaged and you're just hurting because you're no longer a chosen one for your ex? Okay, think about that. Another one, man, there's a feeling of betrayal. If you've been with someone for a couple years, 4 or 5, maybe 6 or more, maybe you were married at one point, and then that person moves on, and now they're with somebody else, and they're giving their affection, their emotions, their love, their time to somebody else, and it used to be you, then there could be a real sense of betrayal there. And when you've been with somebody for a while in a relationship, you've shared a lot. Maybe you've shared a house, maybe you have shared tears. Certainly, if you've been together for a couple years or more, there's been ups and downs. Maybe you're with each other through great loss, or you were with each other through great joy and good times. And there's a lot of emotion that has been invested. There's been a point of sacrifice, says, on both sides that have been invested, and then now that person that you loved or that you shared those times with and that you trusted is gone, and they're with somebody new fairly quickly. Then there's a sense of betrayal that can set in when you see them with somebody else. And then a piece of you has died. This goes back to what I was saying a moment ago. There's so much invested that when that person isn't there, I mean, part of your life was with your ex. We only have so much time on this planet. And the most precious gift that we have is time. We can get more money, we can get more food, we can get another car, but we can't ever get more time. And you have spent a section of your lifespan with this person who's now your ex. And when they're gone, it's as if a piece of you has died. A piece of you is gone. Because the longer you're with someone, you start to build an identity with them. Your friends see you as that couple. Your friends know, oh, so and so and so and so are coming over. Hey, did you invite so and so and so and so? And you kind of build an identity with each other. And now when she's gone, or girls, when he's gone, a part of you has died. And so that could be really, really painful. And so take a look at these ideas here, and which one do you fall under? Maybe it's all 4 of them. Now, I always like to go ahead and help you. So let's get some help and advice. You've been through a trial, and it raises your value. Now, this is what I mean. I think everybody should go through a really tough breakup. Because man, it just it builds something in you. It builds an endurance. It builds a character. It builds a wisdom, and it raises your value. And what I mean by that, not as a person, but I mean as someone to date. As you get older, as you're in your 30s, in your 40s, people want somebody who knows how to do life. You know, we don't we don't really want someone who is necessarily so naive as to how the world works or how relationships work. There's a lot that is learned through a really tough breakup when you're heartbroken. And there's a lot that is learned which you can now bring to the table into a new relationship. You understand? And so your value as someone to date is now higher. Now, understanding that you've healed from it, right? But your value is now higher because it's like you get life. You get life and hey, you know, how to navigate through a relationship now. And you've learned a lot. And so you have more value to bring into a new relationship. Another advice, struggle well, you guys. Struggle well. Okay, make the struggle worth it. Don't be that person who turns to drugs, who turns to alcohol. I have a buddy of mine who is going through a divorce after 12 years of marriage, and he turned to the bottle. And he drank like he's never drank before. DUI. Okay, struggle well. And what I mean by that is learn. Hey, if you have to cry, cry. If you have to scream into your pillow out of anger, out of frustration, go ahead. You know, do what you have to do. You have to talk to somebody. You have to have days where you're just alone for a while. Go ahead. You know, purge that out. Go ahead and grieve, but don't grieve too long. And struggle well. Learn from it. Watch videos. Watch my videos. Watch other. I know I'm not the only YouTube, person to give good advice. So read books. I'm going to suggest one in a moment. But struggle well. Talk to people. Talk to a pastor. Talk to grandparents. Talk to a good friend. Whoever you trust. Someone wise, okay? But struggle well and be better on the other side of it. Be better on the other side of this. You want to be better, a better person, a wiser person, and even a more confident person on the other side of this, okay? Struggle well. You're going through a test and you want to pass this test. A couple of quotes that may help. A wise man once said, "Save yourself from yourself." He told a friend of mine that. He said, "Get out of your own way." Aren't we often our biggest enemies? We're the ones that get in the way of our healing, right? If you're like me, man, there's been times where, I'm driving past her apartment to see, if her car is there. And then if it's not there, my mind goes to, well, where's she at? Oh, it's a Friday night. She's probably on a date. Or it might be like, hey, why is her car not there? Because I know her schedule. She's supposed to be there. Or I call and she doesn't answer. All kinds of stuff. And we just wrap ourselves into this net that's hard to get out of. And it's us. It's us. So free yourself from yourself. Get out of your own way. And then a buddy of mine whose fiance broke up with him, his dad told him this quote here: "There's a time in every man's life when he has to face his own reality." Sometimes you just have to look at the situation and say, okay, this is it. It's over. Now what? Right? There's always the now what. You've seen her with somebody else. She may come back to you. She may not. Who knows? But she's gone for now. And that's what you know. You don't know the future, but you know she's gone right now. And if it's been a while and she hasn't returned or things like that, then she's gone, okay? And you have to face your own reality. Sometimes we like to have, false hopes. We have a thread of hope, I call it. And the toughest thing in the world is to cut that thread of hope and say it's done. Well, There comes a time when we all have to face our own reality, and then we say, now what? Well, you go on and you heal, okay? You get help, you trust God, you read, you go through the process, and you heal, and you're going to be better. And then lastly, I want to go ahead and recommend a book here. I have talked to trusted people, educate yourself, read videos, look at videos, blogs, books. And the one I want to particularly recommend is a book called Left Alone to Learn by Michael Weinberg. Went through a really difficult time of a breakup. So go ahead and read that book, all right? So I hope that this helps you guys. I really hope this helps, okay? Um, you're going to be all right. Just trust the breakup. You're going to be okay. Okay, this is Tony from Trust the Breakup. I hope everything's okay with you, and I hope you're struggling well and you'll get through this. Until next time, God bless.